Hello everybody, AJ here, and today I'm going to be telling you about aviation careers and why you should consider one. Now, don't get me wrong, aviation careers aren't for everybody. However, I think there is something for a lot of people. It's not just flying airplanes. There's a lot of things that go into the aviation industry, and there are a lot of shortages of workers in the aviation industry. So now is a great time, almost more than ever, to get involved. So today I'm going to go over some of the options people can pick from in the aviation industry. And if you're not interested in flying, which I don't know how you couldn't be, there might be something for you. So let's do it. Okay, so the first thing is obviously flying. Now, there are a lot of different types of flying. You can fly for regional airlines, international airlines. You can fly for the shipping type of airlines like FedEx, UPS, that sort of thing, Amazon. You can also fly privately for private chartering companies like private jets, things like that. You can also fly crop dusting. You can fly fires. You can fly law enforcement. You can fly military. There are so many different types of flying. It's not just flying 747s, Boeing 747s for American Airlines. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different opportunities in flying, and there's something for a lot of people. Me, I'm more of an adrenaline junkie. I want to go fly fighters. I want to fly for the Air Guard. That's actually my goal outside of once I graduate college here. But enough about me. We're talking about you. So if you're not interested in the whole flying thing, maybe you went on a flight lesson or two and you're like, not really my cup of tea. Well, there's a lot of different opportunities for you. The first one and the most obvious one, the first thing being quite obvious, is aviation mechanics. Now, mechanics in aviation is quite different from the auto industry, and in some ways it's also quite not different from the auto industry. There's got to be somebody to work on these airplanes, and it's actually not quite as hard to get an aviation mechanic license as you would think. It definitely takes a little bit of time and a little bit of money, but you can definitely get rolling into an aviation mechanic career if you're kind of the gearhead type like myself. I would actually, it is a goal of mine to get my aviation mechanics license. Right now it's not a priority. School is, and it's not something I want to do as a career, but possibly a fun hobby. So anyway, aviation mechanics are desperately needed both for airplanes, helicopters, jets, all that sort of thing. They're definitely needed across the country. Okay, so now we've talked about the airplanes, we've talked about fixing the airplanes. Now let's talk about ground crew. Actually, for a little while, I was working at an FBO serving fuel. So I would pump fuel for jets, airplanes, piston engine airplanes, things like that. It was quite fun. It was an enjoyable job. Definitely a great starter career to get into. If you're interested in aviation, a lot of companies who hire ground crew people have incentives or programs to help their employees get their pilot licenses if that's something that they so desire. I know the company I worked for did. So that's a great entry level career. Now, if you're the type who's thinking about going to college, you're in high school, you're thinking about going to college and getting maybe an aviation management degree or something, or business aviation management or something like that. That is kind of going to be the category you fall into, either managing an airport or managing an FBO or managing a private charter company, something like that. So that's another opportunity, is also aviation management. I mean, every industry needs managers, and aviation industry is definitely not any different. So you could definitely go to school. There's degree programs for aviation management. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to have one, but I believe most require it. So there's degree programs to become a manager in anything aviation. You can be an airport manager, you can be a FBO manager, you can be I don't know, I haven't looked into it that much, quite honestly, so I don't really have any more examples. But anyway, you get the point. There is definitely management needed in every industry, and this one is not any different. So the military actually offers quite a few different careers in aviation other than just flying. You can be a mechanic, you can be a line guy, you can be a manager, you can be a squadron commander, things like that. So the military really is a good place to go if you're interested in that sort of route. There are a lot of opportunities in aviation. Now, I don't want to swoon anybody going into the military or leaving the military. That's kind of a personal decision, but I definitely am interested in it. So if that's something that would interest you, there are definitely a lot of opportunities there. There are also engineers who design and build airplanes, build SUAS systems like the drone up on the ceiling over there. You can be a drone pilot for the military. You can be a drone pilot for private companies. You can be an engineer who designs and builds these amazing airplanes. So don't get me wrong, guys. I don't have all the answers. I definitely don't have all of the examples that you could possibly do in the aviation industry, but I guarantee you that there's something for almost everybody, and I really recommend that you look into aviation because it's a starving industry right now, and it needs people who are motivated and people who want to be there, and it's a very fruitful place, and honestly, a great community to get into. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And AJ,